Okay, welcome everybody. So today we're going to touch on Neron's candle. So it's an older artifact. We've never touched on it. So I figure there's some misconceptions about the art. So we touch on it and do a little bit of a comparison. So starting off, Candle of Neron. So all the extra might stats and health stats and power stats. But let's talk about the abilities. So Demonic Pact. Critical ability hits grant you a soul stack to a maximum of 20 stacks. We're definitely going to touch on that. The cooldown is 1 second. Devil's Deal, 15% increased critical ability attack chance. You also get the ability to put in your loadout of Soul Signature. Cooldown is 12 seconds on that. And all the range, the area effects, superpowers, and all that other stuff. So it's an older artifact, so I pretty much figure everybody knows a little bit about that, the ability. But we'll touch on that in more detail. But when you use the ability Soul Signature, the contract consumes accumulated soul stacks. So every time you get a critical ability attack, you're granted a soul stack. And the contract consumes those soul stacks, damaging up to 8 targets and increasing critical ability attack chance by 15%. And there are the different stacks. So 0 stacks, you'll get the bad deal. And what the bad deal is that it nullifies the Devil's Deal for 12 seconds. When Devil's Deal is nullified, Neron takes his cut, dealing 5% of max health to user. Again, and here is the breakdown. 0, you have 0 stacks, 100% chance of activating the bad deal. 5 is 25%, 10 is 20, 15 is 15, and 20 is 5%. Okay, now with that being said, let's go to our base stats. So this is our base stats. Now when you add Neron, so now we're still at the 105 for weapon attack damage, and we're still at 27.5 for the attack chance. And the critical ability attack damage is 105, but the critical ability attack chance went up to 42.5%. So that's an increase from the 27.5. So that stat alone went up, so you get a more chance to get a critical ability attack. So every time you use your superpower, there's more of a chance of getting that critical hit for extra damage. So again, we'll add the ability to load out in a second. But if you remember, just by equipping the art, you get the the Devil's Deal. So you get that just by equipping it. That's why we got that 15% increase, and we went from 27% to 42.5%. So that was the change. Now let's look at the ability. Using the Soul Signature ability to increase your critical ability attack damage by 15%. Now you can get bad deal. Why did that happen? You can get bad deal if you don't have soul stacks. So let's see what that looks like. So the ability is the first slot. This is the ability. So bad deal. I didn't have any stacks built. I take damage. But that's not what the important part. The damage is there. But I don't know if a lot of people have noticed this. So remember, again, my stats. My critical ability attack chance is 42.5%, and the damage is 105 from using the art. Now I use the ability, I'm going to get the bad deal because it's a 100% chance. And if you see, my critical ability attack damage increased to 120%, and because I get the bad deal, I lost the 15% critical ability attack chance. So by using the ability, you will get an increase in the attack damage, but if you get the bad deal, you will lose the attack chance. So you'll increase your damage, but you'll lose the chance to get it. So it kind of just nullifies it. And that's every time you get a bad deal. And every time I'm going to get a bad deal because it says 100% chance. The damage is all the same. 189,690. The crits every time. It's a guaranteed crit. On the normal without building up any stacks. And of course I got the bad deal every time. Okay, so we talked about Neron, and now we need to talk about the transformation card. So this definitely is an older artifact, but it has some of the same properties as Neron's candle. So with this artifact, you gain 20% critical chance and 30% critical magnitude on attacks and heals. Reduce total damage and healing done by 15%. So since we're talking about damage, we're not going to worry about the critical magnitude on heals. We're just going to worry about the damage. So adding transformation card, there's a difference. There's a big difference actually. So with transformation card, you also get the increase in the critical weapon attack damage. You go from 105 to 135. You also gain in the weapon, the critical weapon attack chance also. That goes from 27.5 to 47.5. And then here's the bigger change. Critical ability attack damage goes up from 105 to 135. And then the critical ability attack chance goes up to 47.5. You also get an increase in the heals, but we're talking about damage right now. So looking at these two arts, I don't really think it's a case of either or. I think that these two arts need to run together, which many people have been doing now. But I think the reason why is because you lose damage in running transformation card. You do get more crits, but you're losing damage. With just running candle, you get less crits, but you're not losing the 20% damage. We did it with running one of each. Now if we put them together. So again, you get that for using your weapon with transformation card, you get an increase. So you go to the 135 and you get the 47.5 for your weapon attacks for using transformation cards. For using critical ability attack damage is 135%. So you gain that. That's the same amount of using just trans by itself. But this is where there's the big increase. The critical ability attack chance. So just using Neron by itself, you was at 42.5%. Just using trans by itself, you was at 47.5%. But now when you combine the two, you get 62.5%. So from normally without anything, you're 27.5%. So you get an increase, and actually a big increase, to get more critical attack chances, which will give you more critical attack damage. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, everybody. So there's the numbers on these artifacts. In my opinion, if you're gonna run one, you should run both. It wouldn't be an either or in my opinion. So I wouldn't recommend running one over the other. You do lose damage in running transformation card, but you do get more crits in running transformation cards. but the damage output is still less because you have that 20%, excuse me, that 15% reduction. If you're not running the ability with Neron, it's still a decent artifact to have because you are getting that increase of the 15% only on the critical ability attack chance, not on the damage. So you have more opportunities to potentially crit, but you're not getting the bonus damage with that as you would with transformation card. So working together, I think, is the best option for using these artifacts. Um, and the Neron ability itself, I mean, in the right situation with the right power set, it may work great. It's something that you could definitely use, but if your power set has enough abilities that you're comfortable using and you don't have to put in an iconic ability or substitute something, then I probably wouldn't run the ability. But that's all up to preference. All of this is up to preference. But the numbers don't lie, and there's more damage when you run the two of them together. So also, in running them together, more crits in the right place equals more damage. So just having the critical ability attack chance doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the critical ability attack damage. You want the increase in both if possible. You want to have more damage but less chance to crits, or more chances to crit but less damage. So running them both together seems like the best option. So that's me touching on these older artifacts. I hope this was beneficial if anybody was on the fence, or if you had any questions about it. I hope this answered it. I appreciate you guys, and have a good one.